The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Alongside Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin, I'm Michael Watchring, and this is the Eagles Sports Network as Carson-Newman gets set for SAC Championships play against Lincoln Memorial Friday night at 7:30. And, Coach, rematch of last year's championship game in which they were able to get the upper hand, but it was after a really good run from your team again. You've been there at the end in each of the last two seasons. Granted, there aren't a lot of guys that have been through both of those years, but how do you as a coach use some of that experience to prepare some of these younger guys?
The game itself is enough. I mean, they've played enough games. The venue's a little different, but as far as the other parts of it being a tournament, once the pitch is thrown and action starts, all players, I think, truly forget what's going on. Throughout the year, you have to get rid of distractions that sometimes occur in the dugout or in the stands, wherever. You're always trying to control distractions. And the same thing's going to happen here. It's a different distraction being in a minor league park maybe, or the fact that the Jumbotron has your pitcher up on it that we don't have the luxury to have here. But all that stuff will be quickly forgotten once the game itself is played.
You expect there to be a lot of people on a Friday night with two schools that are very close to it. A rematch pitching-wise, what you expect to be what was the Friday game earlier in the year that was scoreless until the eighth inning, and then it was a 2-1 final in favor of LMU. Ethan Elliott was the pitcher of the year in the league. How do you try to get your hitters prepared for what he's going to throw at you after you had seen him already this year?
Having seen him helps to a certain degree, but I mean, that young man does a good job mixing it up and locates really well. I mean, he's got the things necessary to have success. That's why he's had success. He's got 3 pitches he's confident in. He can locate pretty much at will, can throw any pitch in any count. He's got a great presence on the mound as far as his confidence goes. So, it's quite a challenge. And, you know, our hitters know some things about him, what he has in the shape of his breaking ball and movement on his fastball. But, again, it's a new game. Mm-hmm. Some guys struggled against him like a lot of guys do. Some guys had some success. So, again, there's a lot of factors that will occur that will dictate whether we have success or not. He's got to be on. That would help him. If he's off a little bit, if the umpire has a tight zone, it certainly helps hitters more and more. So all we can control is the pitch that's coming to us, having a good plan when we go up there, adjust accordingly as the game goes on, and things we've been talking about all year because we feel like we've faced a lot of good pitchers this year, no question about it.
Unlike the last 2 years, I feel like this year you have more depth, both on the mound and in terms of positionally, than you've had entering the tournament the last 2 seasons. You've won 6 straight. How have you been able to tinker with the lineup to get prepared for this weekend and using some of the guys off of the bench, from the bullpen, in certain situations?
I don't know if we planned on doing all this to get ready for the tournament, because you don't know if you're going to get in the tournament. All you're worried about is winning that game and getting guys prepared. Mm-hmm. And so it's never been, well, let's get everybody ready for the tournament. It's always been, let's try to win this ball game and compete in this game. And whatever we have to do, if we feel like someone in the lineup might provide a spark, if it means we have to get a guy in there for an inning, for development purposes, we are looking at it in one way, very short term, this game right now. We're also looking at it long term, but not so much for the tournament as much as just the development of that young man, either now or even for next year, getting their feet wet and seeing what they're capable of doing. You know, they train, and you can only see so much in training. Once they get out there and again, you're in that live action, you learn more about a young man on how he's going to react into game situations. There's one thing to be in a bullpen or BP. There's another to be on the field with an opponent and the distractions going around you, and how do you handle that mentally? So I think the way we have used our depth and the quality that we have, we feel, has been more about short-term and then also long-term, but not so much about the tournament itself.
What is the key this weekend? What needs to really perform well for you guys to hold up a trophy on Monday?
Score more runs than the opponent and play good baseball as far as freebies go. The freebie has been the big thing. That's the game of baseball, just like in football, the turnover ratio. For us, it's can we win that freebie war? Can we limit the walks, the hit by pitches on the mound? Can we limit the errors defensively? When do the errors occur? Nobody on, 2 outs, that's one thing. Nobody out, first and second, that's a whole nother story. So when the freebies occur and how much we control that, I think is the key for any of these teams to have a good run. And then it's the mindset. It's the belief that you're going to come back from a 2-run deficit. It's the belief that you're going to hold this lead with bases loaded. That's not just individually, that's collectively among a group truly believing in that one purpose and that one goal. The team that does that, plays good baseball with the freebies, will be the champion.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. Have a good weekend with this.
Thank you. He's Carson-Newman baseball coach Tom Griffin. I'm Michael Watchering, and this is the Eagle Sports Network.